Hi, welcome back to my shop. This is Terry, and we're continuing on with the robotic project. We're at this point trying to make the weapon for the robot. We've got to make the weapon and get the weight of it and the drive parts, batteries, and electronics. That's the main components. Once we have the weight of that, we have an idea of how much weight we have left for frame and armor. So let's continue on. Years ago, I built the first of my hatchet robots. This one was called Tin Lizzie Borden and had an axe that came down very forcefully. And this is the abomination that drove that axe. This was built at a time when I had no machinery other than a drill and a hacksaw. And a oxygen acetylene torch. So it is sort of hacked together and brazed. It leaks like a sieve. It was driven by CO2 at about 150 psi. This is actually a screen door closer that's been brazed up at the end and had a valving system installed. This is obviously just pipe with caps. This was the reservoir to hold enough air for another charge. So I didn't have to worry about running large hoses all the way from the regulator. The valving system is just two valves that are installed one backwards to the other. And this piston, this smaller piston, which was a air dampener, would drive the valves back and forth, causing either this to fill or exhaust. So it worked very well. Like I said, we tested it against a hardback book. It went through 212 pages. And it did win me the Dragon Con Robot Battles Championship one time. It's not what I consider prudent at this time, and it's not pretty by any means. So we're going to rebuild this thing and using modern materials and an electronic solenoid valve. We had a solenoid valve driving the small piston, but the only valve that I had was very small and would only drive a piston this size. That's why it drives the valves for the larger piston, because I didn't have an electronic valve big enough to drive the large piston. So I think I do now. I picked one up during a yard sale last weekend, and I'll show you that soon, and we'll get going on it. I did create a couple of the parts already. I tried to capture video of that, and I think I lost the video, so we'll see if I can find it. But right now, I'll just have to show you the parts, and we'll have to do without the video of actually making them. Okay, so fortunately this will actually fit through the spindle on my lathe. So we're going to pull this out and cut it off to 9 inches. The important part is that both pieces be the same. So let's use a ruler and go to 9 inches. That ought to be good. I'm doing the 9 inches based on the previous one that I made because it did such a good job. So I'm kind of mimicking the stroke length on it. You know, I'm going to go up to 10 inches. I can always cut the stroke length back if I need to. So there we go. There's 10 inches on the ruler, and in order to make sure we keep it in place, let's put a center up here. And that will make sure that when we butt up the next one, it also butts up to the exact same length. So let's go ahead and cut it off. Moved it. Grab the wrong handle. Let's see. That's good. Go. That's one off. You face both ends, or not face them, but straighten them up, clean off the burrs. Okay, that one's off. No, we screwed up. We didn't put the center back to where it should have been. So, I guess let's mark this longer one and cut it off again. Bummer, man. If you're watching my channel, you're gonna get used to a lot of screw ups. Well, here, let's see. Let's go ahead and butt this up here. That's not going to do us any good. We'll just cut it off at the mark. And we'll do some checking to see how much we have to trim off once we get the ends squared up. I do have a set of 12-inch calipers, so that'll at least let me get an actual measurement. Let's run this a little faster. And where is... I really need to get my tool holders organized. I want to get a little too fast. An old WD-40 aluminum. still got a burr. Getting better? Let's go in there with some emery paper. See if we can knock it off the rest of the way. Beautiful. It's perfect. All right, let's try the other end. Right. Okay, that one's done. Okay, good. One more to go. You see how much of a ring or a burr that it put in there by parting it off.
hopefully we won't have to hone the inside of these cylinders or anything like that to get our piston to work. Okay, so our next task is going to be to get these two cylinders to the same length. You can see when I hold them up together, they're not quite there. So we're going to take the bronze back out of the chuck and put one of these cylinders in and trim it off. But first we're going to measure them with a 12-inch caliper to try and get which one is too long, or we know which one's too long, but how much too long. So got a caliper here and they are about 10 inches, so let's get it off in millimeters. Okay, that one is 9.865. And the other is 9.817. So that tells us we got to take off 48 thousandths on the length of this one. So let's get that one out of the way. Open up till we can, let's see if we got an end we prefer to take off. Not really, they're both pretty good ends. So open up and say ah. Alright, 48 thousandths we've got to take off. So let's see. What we're going to do is bump up against the end here. No, actually we need the other side of it since we're taking off. Let's go this way. Okay. And put a dial indicator on it. Get it set to 0. And let's go for 48 thousandths. 20, 30, 40. And, crap, that's not. There we go, 48 thousandths. Not much. See, we got a little spring in the tool here. So let's see how much we have left. We'll take it off, which we've got to face the end of it, chamfer it anyway. So let's see how much we have to do. Interesting. 10.035. Let's must not have zeroed it the first time. Huh. Well, that's good we didn't take a lot. All right. 10.030 and 10.006. So we need 24 thousandths off still. Alright. Get up there and kiss off on it. Set our dial indicator again. This time we go 20, 1, 2, 3, and 4 thousandths. Get in there and chamfer both sides of it. And then give a little sanding. Feels good. Let's get a little on the outside too. That feels good. And where'd my other one go? There it is. So now, they're as close to identical as I can tell with my eyeball. So that is probably going to be good enough. So that's it for this stage. Next is going to be assembling building the piston itself. That'll be next. So let's get on that in a couple of minutes here.